L-39s. Got it. I think we're ready. What the hell?
I found this lying around and it works.
Go. Go. Liquid broom, really? Gotta be a professional to play with that. All right, hey everybody, welcome to the Squirrel Hole. Dave Tomorrow here, episode 21. And guess what? I got nothing. Just kidding. We're gonna talk about a few things today, like the elephant in the room. All right, so here we go. Some of the things that have popped up, literally, are L-39s. L-39s are attack aircraft that Ukraine has. They're a lot older trainer aircraft, but they can carry a lot under their wings. For the unguided rockets and things like that, they're actually, from reports, are replacing Su-25s in the combat role because they can carry just as many rockets as the Su's been carrying lately. And there's about 47 of them. Easy to keep in the air. They can land on grass runways just about. And so they're great little aircraft, and you know, there's a lot of them in Europe that are in storage. So they probably are well above the 47 mark right now because they're not listed as real combat aircraft. Okay, which is a shame because they are. Crimea, okay, unless you were under a rock yesterday, you didn't know about the Crimea, yeah, like you. Did you know about the Crimea attack?
No.
Okay. There's a huge Crimea attack down here at Sevastopol. They basically blew up the Black Sea's fleet's oil reserves. All right, there is another, I did a map recon, there is another oil point, but it looks like it dates from World War II and is not modern and is not maintained. So Crimea might have lost most of its oil yesterday. From reports, there were 10 drones, 1 crashed, 2 hit. They were launched from Odessa, come down here, did a big U-turn, and came in from the south and hit the oil facility. Big boom, and it was so hot they couldn't put it out, they just let it burn out. So, sucks to be Russian Navy right now. Okay, you know what a mule is, right?
Yeah.
It's a
274?
M274. Came out when, the 50s?
60? Yeah.
Yeah,
50,
came out in the 50s. Well, guess what? Russia's trying to build them. Okay, a mechanical mule is a device or is a little, like big skateboard with an engine underneath it, and the guy drives over in the front. Come to find out, Russian publications are saying that they have no way at all to remove wounded from the battlefield. They can't use a regular car. Something they call the one-eyed buffaloes over in Asia, the little tractor thing with 2 wheels in the back, that they've been breaking down or they've used them all up. So the Russians have announced there's no way to remove severely wounded off the battlefield. They've been letting them die there. So they've come up with 2 answers. They want the mechanical mule, the M247 or 274, to be remanufactured in Russia using 1950s components, or the Luz, L-U-A-Z, 967 Mike. Google it. I'll have a picture somewhere around here. That's a amphibious little skateboard type thing, also used by Russia years ago, phased out. Every design that they've come up with is far out of date, but it's all they got. And so they're easier to maintain and build, and so you probably might be seeing Russian-made mules here soon. Why? Because they don't have anything to do. They're running out of equipment, literally, faster than the Ukrainians can buy it. Speaking of Ukrainians and armored vehicles, everybody's counting Oryx, which is great. Oryx is keeping up track of how many vehicles they bought and everything, but Oryx is missing something big. I collect armored vehicles. I have 4 of them here in the Squirrel Hole. Okay, yeah, I've got 5. I lose track of how many. 6, 7. So yeah, I've got 7 armored vehicles. The thing is, Ukraine is draining the civilian market of armored vehicles. Stuff that hobbyists and collectors and museums normally buy. They've been going in and scarfing everything up. Doesn't matter if it's a BMP in private hands or a BTR or whatever. over 600 military vehicles are known to have been bought from private collectors since the war started. Nobody's really counting those. So if you look at, 600 military armored vehicles is a lot. Add into that, they're actually taking Humvees that are unarmored and armoring them to level 3 standards. So there's another bunch of up-armored vehicles that they're mounting guns to and using in combat. So that's a number that nobody's looking at. They're looking at Russian numbers and the degradation of those, but nobody's looking at the private purchase military vehicle collector market where the Ukraine's been raiding. And I just watched a video of it where one guy tanks a lot in England has sold over 150 tanks alone, or armored vehicles. Okay. Liquid boom. If your boom isn't liquid enough, that's wrong. Or if you need more boom out of your gun, please, we have liquid boom on sale. All you gotta do is dial 1-800-339-6887. That's 1-800-339-6887. Yes, 1-800-DEES-NUTS. And you too, for $19.99, can buy some liquid boom. Enough of our sponsor. Okay, secondary sponsor is Liberty Ukraine. Liberty Ukraine, I'm gonna put some pictures up here, but Liberty Ukraine is where you go and give money to the Ukrainians, and it goes directly to the units, hospitals, or to children. That's very important. Okay, support them. I do. And I put my money where my mouth is. We donated over $200,000 to them. All right, T-55 tanks. Boom, where are they at? There it is. T-55 tank, yeah, that's about right. Okay, T-55 tanks, we saw them a few weeks ago moving out of storage. People were saying they're just moved from one storage to another storage. They've actually seen them in Ukraine now. They've been on tank transporters. They're actually heading into occupied Ukraine. It'll last about 1/10 of a second when this thing hits it, go right through. Now the bad thing about the T-55 is if this hits it, it doesn't have nearly as much ammo as a T-72 does in it, so the turrets won't fly nearly as high, so I don't give them a very good chance to qualify in the turret tossing competition. But they are tanks. Ish. Okay. Everybody's going off of numbers recently released by Oryx or the Ukrainians. I call BS on those numbers. On both of them, because here's why. I just saw 5 videos of people driving around and seeing dozens and dozens and dozens of stripped Russian military vehicles behind the lines, where the Russians would roll up a vehicle that's damaged in some way, flip it over, take the axles off, take the wheels off, tires, engine, doors, everything off, and nobody's counting those. So if you use historical Chechen War data numbers and everything, Ukraine is saying 3,699 tanks right now. I'm predicting that number is closer to 4,200 tanks are out of action, and armed personnel carriers are probably at around 9,000 losses if you count in combat and just worn out. Russia doesn't have a history of fixing broke stuff. They have a history of just letting it fall apart, and that's about it. Okay, now we got the elephant in the room. This thing. This is the M2HB. Some people have been asking me about it, and this is a replica, but it'll get the job done. This shoots a .50 cal bullet. It will go, when we were training and shooting this in combat and in training, the rule of thumb is if you can see it, you can hit it. If it's a person or vehicle, if you can see it, you can hit it. Max effective range for this on paper is 1,100 meters. And so that's like 3,000 feet, that's 3/4 of a mile, a little bit better. And basically, if you can see it, aim at it, and make it go away. We've had snipers in Vietnam that use this thing as a sniper rifle to hit people way down range. This basically can be mounted, welded, JB welded, duct taped, or Velcroed to basically anything. I've seen it on Suzuki Samurais. I've seen it on little carts, and on top of every tank you could imagine. So when some people ask me if this was effective, yes, this will take out a BMP with the right ammo. From all indications, we've been giving them slap rounds, black tip, armor personnel, or anti-tank, sorry, armor piercing ammo. So this is a good gun, and this is something that is better than DSHK, and will probably be in inventory for another 50 years. All right, so that's about all I got. Thanks very much for coming, and thanks, Badger.